Chapter 9. Back in Ordon, things aren't all that bad. All that and a bag of fish and chips either. It's ramping up the Princess Act for my big date. Here's hoping Ben bites. It was time for Mal and Ben's perfect picnic date at Reflection Pond. Ben had brought Mal to a surprise picnic when she had first gotten to Ordon Prep. They had ridden through the countryside on his Vespa. Ben had then led her on foot through a grove, and after they had crossed an incredible suspension bridge with a beautiful stream below it, Ben had put a blindfold on Mal and led her gently down a dense forest path until eventually they stopped. When he had instructed her to open her eyes, they were at the enchanted lake, with its crystalline jade water and stone platform of ancient pillars wrapped in ivy and flowers. It was a surprise Mal would always cherish. Today, Mal was the one surprising Ben, and she couldn't wait for the moment to end. On a gazebo overlooking the calm green pond and surrounding lush tree-filled countryside, Mal and Ben sat at a table covered by a gold tablecloth, which boasted all sorts of treats: soup, hors d'oeuvres, beet ragout, cheese souffle, pies, puddings, pastel-colored cakes, fresh fruit tarts, a loaf of warm bread, and tiers of appetizers. All the fixings for a royal picnic to make Ben feel like a cherished guest. "Would you like a hot hors d'oeuvre?" asked Mal. She wore a pale blue dress, and her long ice blonde hair was loose and down. She fed Ben with her hand. Ben ate the appetizer, moaning, "This is the best thing I've ever had." "So you like it?" asked Mal. "I'm more than like it, in fact." Ben leaned in close to Mal and pinched a cracker from a tray, then sat back. "I double like it." Mal giggled. Ben gestured to a nearby bowl. "Beef ragout?" He picked up a bite with a fork. "Did I surprise you? Did I do it?" asked Mal with a curious smile. Ben took the big bite of the beef ragout. "Yeah, this is every single dish Mrs. Potts made for my parents. What did it take you? 3 days?" Ben surveyed the extravagant array of perfectly prepared fresh foods. Mal eyed the picnic basket that sat on the table beside it. "Don't even ask me," she said, laughing. "Well, it means a lot that you stopped and did all this for me, with all the craziness that's been happening to you," said Ben. He took her hand in his. Mal couldn't look Ben in the eyes. She stared down at the table and smiled. Ben turned her face gently toward him. "I've missed you," he caressed her cheek. "We never have a lot of time to be just us." It was true. Ben was busy being king and governing the United States of Ordon, and she was preoccupied with pretending to be his proper lady. Mal wiped a drop of sauce from the corner of Ben's mouth. Ben smiled. "Can't take me anywhere." Mal laughed. She had said the same thing to him during their first picnic at the Enchanted Lake, when she tried her first jelly donut and gotten sugar on her lips. Mal was beginning to relax and enjoy herself. Ben looked around. Do you have any napkins?" He reached for the picnic basket. "I do, actually," Mal said, feeling the moment slipping toward chaos. "I can grab them." But before Mal could get his napkin, Ben reached into the picnic basket to look for one and instead pulled out Mal's spellbook. Mal gasped and froze. Ben looked at the cover. "What's this?" Mal stared at him, wide-eyed. "I threw it in really last minute in case it rained and I needed to step in." She attempted to take it from him. Ben flipped through the various pages marked with sticky notes. Speed reading spell, blonde hair spell, cooking spell, Ben read. He looked at the picnic feast, slammed the book shut, and turned to Mal. "And here I was giving you props for fitting in so well, for doing your best," Ben said loudly, shaking his head. Mal began incanting a spell and waving her finger. "Take back this moment that has passed." She chewed her lip, trying to remember it. "Replace it. Return it." "Are you trying to spell me right now?" "Ben, it has been so hard for me." "Mal!" Ben shouted. "Come on." He stood and dropped the book onto the table. Yeah, some things are hard. Do you think it's been easy learning how to be king? No, said Mal. I thought we were in this together, Ben cried. Mal bolted out of her seat. We are in this together, but we're not, Ben said. We're not, Mal. You've been keeping secrets and lying to me. I thought we were done with this. This isn't the Isle of the Lost, Mal. Mal was stung. Believe me, I know, she said. Then why are you doing this? Ben implored of her. Because I am not a pretty pink princess. I'm not one of those ladies, okay? I'm a big fake, yelled Mal. She gestured to her hair and the food on the table. I'm fake. This is fake. Sighing, she reached over the table, lifted her spell book, and turned to a page and incanted, take this feast, this sumptuous meal, return it back to what is real. She did a little finger wave and the feast disappeared. The trays, bowls, and plates of food were replaced by a sad peanut butter and jelly sandwich and a cookie. That's who I really am, Ben, said Mal, gesturing to the glum meal. Her eyes shimmered with tears, and she broke her stare with Ben to move away from him. Ben reached out and touched her arm. Mal, he said softly. Mal shrugged Ben off. No, she said, and stomped away, leaving Ben alone. Wanting to make her feel better, Ben picked up the sandwich and called out, Peanut butter and jelly is my favorite! But she was already gone. He walked back to the rail and gazed over the pond. Across the calm green water, Ben could see the land on the other side. He thought about how he'd spent many times looking out at the Isle of the Lost in the same far-off way. Ben felt farther away from Mal than ever. Once Mal got back to school, she burst into her dorm room and was relieved to find it empty. Mal moved to Evie's work table and found a small black box with a blue lid. She took a sharp pencil and stabbed the lid of the box repeatedly to make holes. I don't belong here, Mal cried out. She rushed to her mother's glass aquarium. Okay, Mal muttered. Opening the top of the tank, she lifted the tiny lizard out of it and placed it into the black box. She looked down at her mother and let out a little laugh through her tears. Let's blow this popsicle stand, yeah? Asked Mal. Ordon was not where she belonged. Not anymore.